Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I'm George. We're all George. So, welcome back. Unfortunately, some bad news. Binance Bridge just got hacked for $100 million. What exactly happened and what did the team do about it? Let's discuss. Also, some important things that are coming up, including tomorrow. Big report coming out, so let's talk about that as well and other crypto news. All right, let's get started. Smash up the like, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that notification bell to get notified of all my streams. Follow me on social media. Check out CryptosRUs.com and make sure you follow my other channels as well. Good evening, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's Thursday night. It feels like Friday, but it's really Thursday, unfortunately. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. All right, so looking at Bitcoin, still holding around 20,000 today in the US. Not so good. The markets fell down in a big way. But if you look on CMC, you can see that even though Bitcoin and Ethereum only down a percentage, you'll see that BNB is down 4%. Not the greatest loss, but you could see it's clearly more than others right now, right? Why did this happen? Well, it's because of this. It came out not too long, about 3 hours ago. The entire smart chain was halted. Binance smashed a button and halted the chain because they detected there's some kind of potential exploit that was draining BNB off, okay? Approximately $100 million worth of crypto, okay? So obviously not good. And what happened exactly? Well, CZ is very transparent. About an hour later, he posted this. An exploit on the cross-chain bridge BSC token hub resulted in extra BNB. We have asked all the validators to temporarily suspend Binance Smart Chain. This is why it's halted. The issue is now contained. Your funds are safe. We apologize for the inconvenience. We'll provide further updates accordingly. So it looks like it wasn't that 100 million was taken. 100 million was minted extra BNB. And that was what was taken, right? So there was some kind of exploit. But this is on a bridge, right? We have seen so many bridges in this past year being hacked. The last big one was Harmony. Harmony's bridge, 100 million. And now is actually a true hack and 100 million withdrawn. And let's not forget Ronin bridge, 600 plus million, right? So there does seem to be a common theme that the chains themselves are pretty secure. Unfortunately, the bridges are not. The bridges are essentially another chain with a lot less nodes or validators. And it seems like the security or it's just not up to par. There's so much vulnerabilities found. But the good thing is it does look like this is contained and people have been tracking it. It seemed like whoever the hacker was trying to cash out to Ethereum, to Phantom, to Arbitrum, right? But I think it's all been stopped because the chain was simply halted and there's nowhere to go, right? So the good news is, even though this was a big deal, it did happen. Doesn't look good for Binance or Binance Smart Chain, but the team was on top of it right away and shut it down. Now, there's controversy, though, even though it seems like, okay, this is all done. What's the big news? Well, the big news, and I can see people talking about it in the live chat, is, well, for a chain that's supposed to be decentralized, it seemed like they had a button in to just smash it and just shut off the chain, right? Well, it's not that easy. They didn't actually do that. You could clearly see that all the validators were asked to temporarily suspend the chain, basically just stop processing transactions, right? So kind of like Solana, Solana a lot of times asks their validators to kind of reboot the network whenever there's a problem, kind of like that. So even though it may seem like there's some magical button that you just press and then you could just shut down the chain, like you could shut down your computer or shut down Windows, it's not exactly like that. But I do get some people's concerns that, hey, if you're able to reboot a chain or shut it down, right, is it really decentralized? Because that means in the future, maybe there's external pressures from certain governments or regulators. Can they force this to happen? Well, the honest answer is yes, they can force it to happen if enough people, enough validators, enough nodes, enough block producers comply, right? But as the space gets bigger and there are more and more and more, and let's not forget, like me, I'm in the US, a lot of you guys may be in Australia or UK or wherever, right? These validators are spread worldwide. And the more validators we have and the less centralized in a local position, like a local country, let's say, the less centralized the validators are within a certain region, the more decentralized it becomes, right? So just want to pinpoint that. I know a lot of people look at this and they're like, ah, man, you know, all these chains are really centralized. It may seem that way, and it's still early, right? As big as some of these projects are, it's hard to fathom that some of these projects have only been out for a few years. It's not like Binance Smart Chain or even Ethereum or Phantom or Cardano has been operating for decades, you know, just a few years. So, yeah, there's still some growing pains out there, right? Definitely some growing pains. But I did want to cover this first. Binance hack, big deal. Everyone's talking about it, but it does look like it's been resolved, and we'll see what the results are and how they're going to fix this vulnerability. All right, so that's what I want to lead with. Now, talking about some other stuff, tomorrow in the U.S., there's a big jobs report, absolutely huge. This is going to show how many employers hired employees. Dow Jones is expecting 275,000 in September. If that number goes way up and unemployment at 3.7% actually goes down, that would be bad for the market. Even though it's good economic data, that would be very bad for the market. So it's something that we don't want to see. The best case scenario is the number comes below the estimate, just barely below, let's say 270,000 or 265,000, like something like that. And unemployment maybe goes up by 0.1, like to 3.8%. That would be the best case scenario. That means that the economy is slowing down and Powell doesn't have to be so hawkish, right? But if the numbers are really great, let's say payroll increase to 300,000, right? Or something like that, something really off, and unemployment actually goes down, tomorrow it's going to be a bloodbath. It's also going to be a bloodbath if it goes the opposite way. Let's say the payroll increased by, let's say, 175,000. Then that would be really bad too. So you kind of want to come in under, but not too under. So it's one of those weird situations. So this is something that we'll know tomorrow morning. By the time I stream, this number will be out, and we will see what happens tomorrow. All right, and then, of course, this is going to affect DXY. A lot of you guys hear me talk a lot about DXY. You may not understand why DXY is so important, but this is a good comparison. I should thumbnail this, or not thumbnail, bookmark this. Whenever DXY goes up, Bitcoin seems to go down. And whenever DXY goes down, Bitcoin seems to go up. And recently, DXY has been going down. So let's see if the trend continues. And the reason why, you may be wondering, why is it so correlated? Well, it's because the DXY is showing the dollar's strength. And when the dollar's going up, everyone's trying to buy dollars, unfortunately. And when the dollar's losing strength, they use that money to buy other things, such as Bitcoin and equities and stuff like that. So it's one of those things. If the DXY continues to come down because it topped out, that would be great. But the macro conditions going to make that really hard right now. There are still a lot of things going on around the world that's causing other world currencies to fall faster than the dollar, which is why the dollar is so strong. Let's hope it doesn't continue. All right, what else is there? There's a couple other things. I did see this. This is not good. Celcius reveals they came out with a 14,000-page document that they had to hand in. Unfortunately, that document contains history of thousands and thousands of customers, their names, and their transactions. Unfortunately, someone got a copy of it and leaked it out. It's not good. Not good at all. I mean, they were compelled to do this. They were doing KYC, right? And you would figure they would never have to release this information, but they did, unfortunately. So more and more bad things are coming out of Celcius. Their founders cashed out 50 plus million. Now, through bankruptcy court, somehow this is revealed. This wasn't revealed with Voyager, so I don't know why this was revealed in Celcius, but yeah, that's not good at all either. So just to throw that out there. But what is good is, well, Grayscale's announcing a new arm to invest in Bitcoin mining hardware. So what does that mean? They're going to buy miners and sell it to investors that want to buy miners. Interesting. They're going to be a middleman. They're going to resell miners, it sounds like. Wild, but, you know, we'll take it. That's pretty good. Also, another central bank says Bitcoin can be accepted as payment. That's also very big, right? So I'm not even sure this country, but they declared Bitcoin is good as money. So again, Bitcoin is starting to grow. Small countries, yes, at first, but you know what? So many other countries right now with crazy inflation, hyperinflation, with economic turmoil, with their currency debasing, Bitcoin is the only way. And that's why more and more countries are turning to Bitcoin. So positive, very, very positive. All right, last few things. I did see this. What was this chart? Yeah, this chart right here. The most active devs. So you could clearly see on the left side, Ethereum is leading the way, but surprising, Polkadot is number 2, and then Cosmos. So Polkadot is actually quite high. So I thought I'd just give you a couple of news about these three. Ethereum, I was looking it up. Not that much news. This came out of Coinbase. Coinbase is saying that they're going to support EIP 4844, which is interesting, which basically scales Ethereum a little bit, reduce fees through transaction throughput. I saw mostly it's because the Ethereum network is not going to be broadcasting transactions for that are older than 1 year, and they plan on using, I think, the graph to actually kind of archive old transactions, something like that. I actually don't hear much about it, and then all of a sudden Coinbase said they're going to endorse this and support it. But it sounds like it's good. Sounds like anything that Ethereum can introduce that reduces fees and increase throughput, that sounds like a winning game plan. So that is something we could look forward to, although I don't know when that's coming. Could be with the next upgrade. Lido, which offers synthetic ETH, it's expanding to other layer 2 networks such as Optimum and Arbitrum. So, I mean, expanding liquidity, that's never a bad thing. Okay. Now, looking at Polkadot, though, Polkadot has some tremendous stuff in their roadmap, right? So I could see why there's so many developers getting excited about Polkadot. Asynchronous backing is a major optimization that will increase throughput by 100%. The block time for parachains will be shortened from 12 seconds to 6 seconds. Lower latency, faster finality. And I heard with this, actually I didn't heard, but I read it, transactions per second will be anywhere from 100,000 to 1 million. That's a lot. So that's pretty outstanding. Actually, it looks like they're ready to deploy on Kusama by the end of this year, and then they're going to do it on Polkadot. Also, para-threads, which is very exciting. Also, the ability to rent parachains, basically, because we know that there's only, 100 parachains on Polkadot? But now, if you want to run a parachain, you could. You just rent it. So that's what para-threads are. So that's also very exciting. So, you know, Polkadot, and there's other things I'm not going into, but there's other things to look forward to. Also, bridging between Polkadot and Kusama, that's a big thing. I mean, there's actually a lot of things going on in Polkadot. Exciting stuff. And then lastly, as for Cosmos, I just have some metrics in terms of their overall transactions, which is still very high, total volume high. Look at the number of holders, still going up despite the bad macro stuff that's happening right now, right? These are all looking good. Hey, APR is at 19% right now. That's pretty fantastic. And some of the things that has happened this year in terms of some of the interchain communication that was opened up, also the dApps and dApp upgrades, and there's interchain security that's also coming up. So Cosmos also has a lot of exciting things happening as well. So these are all great projects that you don't want to give up on. All right, guys, that is it. Let's do some Q&A. All right, let's see. Scrolling up here. Chronos is the safest. Unfortunately, no. The Ronin chain was not good. Wait, no, Ronin is Axie. I'm sorry. Yeah, I actually got confused. ADA never shut down. That is true. Binance will be fine. Short-term nonsense. Well, it's not nonsense. It'll be fine, but it's not nonsense. It did happen. Let's see. Is Doge safe? Safer? How? PWO? POW? It is. Doge is actually the biggest proof of work chain right now by market cap. Is it safe? It's still relatively safe. Nothing has happened with Doge. Elon is still moving forward with the Twitter acquisition, so I don't know if he's going to do something with Doge. Maybe. He talked about integrating Doge and using Doge as payments or using Doge as a verification system. He may still do that. Best scenario for crypto is world economy crashes. Well, yes and no. We like to hope that if the world economy crashes, that everyone's going to turn to Bitcoin, right? But whenever we have ever seen a really bad crash, everything sells off. So it might be too early for that. I would say maybe another 2 cycles, and Bitcoin is at 500,000 plus. Maybe, yes, that would be awesome for Bitcoin, but not right now. It's not big enough yet. O says you can't fix supply side inflation just by jacking up rates. Better to have more people employed, since instead of struggling to pay, you won't be able to pay for anything at all without a job. Yes, that makes sense. But the problem is there are just too many people that just keep spending money. But I get your point, right? Because if you get people laid off, then there's less people to work on supply stuff. I get it. Less people to make stuff. But right now, a lot of the stuff that we get in the U.S. is made overseas, so it's less of a concern to Powell. Although it is still a concern. There's a lot of small businesses out there. But the main concern is Powell wants people to stop spending money. That's honestly, you sum it up, that's what he wants. But, I'm quite surprised there's not a bigger initiative to increase the supply side. Like, I know it's not Powell's responsibility, but, like the administration or the states, rather than give out more stimulus checks, like I just covered California giving out money soon, right? Maybe create more jobs. Figure out how to create more jobs. Create more ways to increase supply rather than trying to just give out free money, which, again, does not help. Let's see. A lot of people still buying iPhone 14. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Foxconn just came out and said the demand for iPhone 14s is through the roof. And not just the regular 14. It's the high-end ones, the pro ones, the ones that cost even more money. So as long as people still enjoy their $5 cups of coffee from Starbucks and their $1,000 iPhone 14s, that shows you that inflation is going to continue because there's just too many people that wants to spend. Hello from Melbourne, Australia. Hey, welcome. George Costas. There's a lot of Georges in here. Genghis Khan. It was 100 million. Reported 100 million, not 600 million. 600 million was Ronin Bridge. That's a different bridge. Yes, I'm seeing super chats and I'm answering them. Phantom was hacked a few times. Yes. Yearn Finance was hacked. I mean, there's been a lot of hacks in 2022, right? But most of it, or at least the bigger ones, were all with the bridge, like their bridge, some sort of bridge. It seems like the bridges they're just not as secure. And all these projects that run a bridge, they need to like really look at their own bridge. People pay monthly payments for iPhones. Well, that doesn't make things better. ETC is now the same. I wouldn't say that. ETC has been 51% attacked how many times? And people just kind of ignore it because no one's paying attention to what's going on with the Ethereum Classic. But they, at least twice probably this last year, and I don't know how many more times beforehand. Maybe it's not this year. Maybe it was last year. But I know they suffered a lot of 51% attacks. Check again. There are reports of 600 million hacked. Are you sure? Let's see. This also says, yeah, I don't think it's 600 million. Anyways, it's not that 600 million was stolen. It was 600 if it is 600 million, is extra BNB. So they minted more. It wasn't because it was actually removed. At least that's what CZ says. And let's see if he gave another update. So this one was full transparency. I was asleep. This was 1 hour ago. He was woken up. Okay. And then no ETA yet. Give the dev time to understand the root cause. I don't see anywhere that's 600 million anywhere. The current impact estimate is around 100 million USD, about a quarter of the last BNB burn. So again, I don't see 600 million. Wendy's combo meal is more expensive than Golden Corral buffet. I do like Golden Corral, but yeah, you know what? Speaking of inflation of foods, have you noticed how expensive salads have gotten? Like to get a nice salad, a nice chicken salad, chopped salad, it's like 12 or 15 bucks, right? Like you can't even afford to eat healthy anymore because salads and vegetables and fruits have all went up astronomically. So, yeah, food costs have been going up and up and up and up. Down to Moto. I bet Gina is drinking an $8 Starbucks coffee and scrolling TikTok on her new iPhone. I'm pretty sure that's accurate. Yeah, salads have gone up so much. I grow my salads. Congrats, Pat. Congrats. Chipotle also. You know, like you order Chipotle on DoorDash, it's like $18 now. Like I'm like, what? you you could feed a family of 4 with that. But Chipotle has gotten so expensive too. Everything has gotten so expensive, honestly, right? This is effective inflation. Yeah. No way I'm paying $12 for salad. That's actually low. You know, if you get like a chopped salad from some like restaurant, it's like $14 or $15. Mexican food is best bang for the buck, or the adult Happy Meals from McDonald's. Actually, they're not. They're not a bargain, and it's the same thing, other than to give you a toy. But here's the thing: the toys that they're giving you could be a collector's item in the future because the very first adults Happy Meals. So those toys could be collectibles. Which is better, Avalanche or Solana? I say they're about even. I like Avalanche a lot. They're lower market cap, but once upon a time they were really, really hot. They're about 5 billion versus Solana's 11, 12 billion, so a little bit smaller, but I do believe in both of them. I think they're good projects. Plus tip and tax at restaurants? Yeah, that's right. I'm honestly surprised BNB didn't dump after news. Well, it kind of did. It's down 4%. I mean, they caught it in time. It's not like the hackers are dumping BNB on exchanges. So they froze the chain so the hackers can't do anything with it. So this is just purely due to fear right now, not because the hackers are trying to sell it or are selling it. Do you ever think Bitcoin's code will be altered? It gets altered all the time, Orange Lambo. They did it with Segwit, Segwit in 2017. They just did it recently. I forgot the code name. But Bitcoin's code gets upgraded all the time. But they're small upgrades, not big upgrades. If you're asking if they're ever going to, like, say, change the 21 million limit to like 30 million, I don't think that'll ever happen. No. Remember, you try to change a code, you got to get consensus from all the miners, and there's no way they're going to approve that. So small code changes still happens all the time. Well, I take it back. Not all the time, but it happens. Taproot was the recent one. So yeah, it happens. How's the Vassal hard fork? It's up and running. Just people need to learn how to actually use it. So the transaction size has decreased tremendously, and fees I think decreased by half too. So overall, it got faster. The chain got faster, and it got cheaper. A test drove a Tundra 1794 at a dealership was asking $95K hard pass. Yeah, well, those 1794s are expensive to begin with. I think they're like normally 60, 70,000, maybe 70,000. So they're probably asking for like 20,000 over MSRP. Unfortunately, that's what's happening at the dealerships. Now, dealerships are trying to say they do that on purpose because they share the profit with the salespeople, which are really struggling because salespeople are not selling as much cars. That's how they kind of justify it, because of less sales. But still, it's a tough pill to swallow when you're paying $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 over MSRP, right? So I addressed that in this video that I'm going to release on Saturday about the car market. But yeah, unfortunately. QLC? I don't know what QLC is. I don't know what QLC is, man. Costco hot dog is the best. If you want really cheap hot dogs or pizza, just eat at Costco every day. Eventually, you eat it enough, you'll get cancer. So I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But you got to figure it can't be that healthy. But anyways, yeah, and their chicken, their rotisserie chicken is always at $5. I would say the rotisserie chicken is actually probably the healthiest choice. But you can only eat chicken for so long, you know. Tiberius, you know, KCC was really hot before. I mean, especially with the I take it back. KCS token was really hot before because they're following the steps of Binance, right? Right now, KuCoin is still a good exchange, but their token is just less hot. There's just not enough DeFi projects on top of KCC to justify a higher price. Maybe eventually, but not right now. But maybe one day KuCoin could become a big powerhouse like Binance too. Am I building my house with red brick? No. No bricks, stone, and going for gray color. I'm going to address that in my new video on I Am George. I'm going to post that. I may post that on Saturday as well. Or tomorrow. But yeah, I've been filming this whole week, so. Did you see Shiba Inu's mobile game? Yeah, I did. I didn't play it. Isn't it only like in Asia right now? I don't know if you could get it here. Three known cryptos that haven't been hacked. I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot of smaller cryptos that has never been hacked. Just because they haven't doesn't necessarily mean they're fantastic. You could go on page 300 and probably find all of them that's not hacked because no one knows who they are. Do I follow Chess? Thoughts on Neiman? Is he the guy that's accused of cheating? Maybe I know that's a big deal. Like someone that supposedly Magnus or whoever the leading chess champion is called him out and said, I believe he's cheating. And then they looked at his past plays and people think that he's cheated over 100 matches or something like that. I don't know. I don't know enough about it. All right, what I do know is I need to go. So, to conclude, Binance Smart Chain was hacked for 100 million or 600 million. People are giving me 600 million. But regardless of what it is, it's bad. It's a bad situation. We should never see hacks like this, but it happens all the time. But the good thing is it does seem like they put a halt to it. All the validators stopped. So right now the hackers didn't get anything, and they're trying to find a way to fix it, right? But unfortunately, it still happens. It shows how young the space is, and you know what? These are just growing pains that we just have to get past, right? So let's see what happens tomorrow. Big jobs report. So tune in tomorrow, 8:15 a.m. Central Standard Time, and we'll see what happens. All right. Have a good one. Smash up the like. Take care. Bye-bye.